Our next speech contestant is Casey Burwell. Casey Burwell, what white's got nothing to do with it. White's got nothing to do with it. Casey Burwell.
I spent the better part of the first 6 years of my life on a boat in Florida with no sunscreen. With the exception of the zinc that my mother would slather on my nose. I spent the next 15 years of my life slathering on the baby oil, laying out in the sun, and getting blistered beyond belief when I wasn't baking myself in a tanning bed. So it's no wonder that my skin decided it was going to rebel. In November of 2004, I was 25 years old. I was an excited bride, and I was at David's Bridal on Independence Boulevard. I was standing in front of a full-length mirror, and I was looking at the dress of my dreams. And as I turned around to take a look at the back of the dress in the mirror, that's when I saw it. No, not that, not the train that I dreamt of since I was a little girl, but a mole the size of a pencil eraser right in the middle of my back. Now, I wasn't too concerned about it, but I did go ahead and make an appointment with the dermatologist. And on the day of my appointment, I didn't know what to expect. My doctor didn't seem too concerned about it. In fact, he wasn't even going to do a biopsy. It was only after my insistent prodding that he did do that biopsy. And he sent me out the door and said, "No news is good news." My no news came in the form of a phone call 2 weeks later, letting me know that my biopsy results were back. Over the course of the next 2 minutes, I went from an excited bride and a single mom to a cancer patient. My emotions ran the gamut. I was sad. I was scared. I was so angry. I was numb. But then I was in denial. I would tell you I have melanoma, but I didn't dare utter that dreaded C word. Perhaps it's because I didn't know the seriousness of the disease. Or perhaps it's because I didn't want to face the reality. Now, I did my homework. I talked to some trusted people, and I got a game plan together. I consulted with a surgeon who agreed with my game plan, and surgery was scheduled. I was to undergo a sentinel node biopsy with removal and a wide local excision. I didn't know what in the world that meant, but it didn't sound good. I'll spare you the details, but by the end of that surgery, an area the size of a hockey puck in width and depth had been removed from my back, along with a total of 6 lymph nodes from under my arms. I have been to the doctor every 6 months for skin checks since then, and I will continue to do so for the rest of my life. Melanoma is serious, but there is not a lot of emphasis placed on melanoma. In December of 2008, my grandmother went to the doctor for what appeared to be an infected wound on the bottom of her foot. She was mistreated and misdiagnosed for months. Finally, in April of 2009, after visiting 3 different doctors, they decided to biopsy it. When we got the results, we were shocked. It was melanoma, and none of us had ever suspected it. Like me, my grandmother had surgery, although hers was much more involved than mine. But it was too late. On September 9th, 2009, after not recovering well from her surgery, my grandmother was admitted to the hospital. And the next day, it was a Thursday, she was taken down for a PET scan to determine if her cancer had spread, and if so, how far. That evening, with the family gathered around her bedside, her oncologist came in. He found the only open seat available, He sat down and he hung his head. Metastatic melanoma. The same disease that had threatened my body just 5 years prior had now ravaged hers. And on September 27, 2009, a mere 2.5 weeks from that grim diagnosis, my grandmother took her last breath. She was 79. Now, folks, I'm going to share something with you. I'm white. W-H-I-T-E, white. I am a poster child for melanoma. I have fair skin, I've got baby blues, and I've got blonde hair. But do you know who was not a poster child? Reggae musician Bob Marley. He was black. B-L-A-C-K, black. And at 36 years old, Bob Marley passed away from metastatic melanoma. Maureen Reagan, daughter of former President Ronald Reagan, passed away in 2001 from the disease after battling it since 1996. Now I have every right to give in, to fly that white flag and surrender, but I don't have that in me. I am a fighter, and I invite you to join me in this fight. On Saturday, April 27th, Miles Against Melanoma will host its second annual 6.2K run and walk event right here in Charlotte. All proceeds from this event go directly to melanoma research. And the significance of 6.2? One person dies from melanoma every 62 minutes. But it does not have to be this way. So slather on the sunscreen provided. We'll have some before you leave. Come out and join me on the 27th and help me fight back. And if you can't join me on the 27th, please use the sunscreen anyway. Don't let your family endure what mine and so many others have gone through, because remember, white has nothing to do with it. Mr. President.